Based on fantasy book series Lone Wolf, battle between good and evil, completing quests, conquering lands in Lone Wolf Vengeance of the Kai.
And today we'll show you a quick how to play or overview for Lone Wolf Vengeance of the Kai. We are using a prototype copy of the game, so the rules and components are not final, and do check out the project page for the game. We'll put a link to that in the video description below.
And hi everyone, it's Stella.
And Tarrant, welcome to Meeple University.
And hey, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do, like, subscribe and comments. Now let's get to the classroom.
Lone Wolf Vengeance of the Kai is an asymmetrical wargame in which two players fight for supremacy in the land of Magnamund. It was designed by Dan Wigel and published by HomeGuard Games. The game plays two players and is of medium to heavy complexity. The game is set in the Magnamund world of Joe Dever's Lone Wolf series of gamebooks, first published in 1984. In Lone Wolf Vengeance of the Kai, players take on the roles of good against evil, Lone Wolf and the Freeland Alliance in blue against the Dark Lords in red, in a battle over the world of Magnamund. Over 6 rounds of play, players will deploy leaders to command their troops, use their strategies and magics, and lay siege to the cities as they try to gain control of the land and achieve their asymmetrical objectives. For the Freeland Alliance, that's to have Lone Wolf complete his 5 quests, and for the Dark Lords, that's controlling at least 5 of the strategic territories. Whoever is first to achieve their goal, or makes the most victory point progress towards it within 6 rounds, will be the winner. The board begins populated with troops and ships of both sides, including neutral. Each player begins with their own hand of cards representing combat, strategy and magic, drawn from the good or evil decks dedicated specifically to their side. The Freeland side only also gains special item cards which go in a separate backpack pile. And each side begins with 4 leaders, and it's leaders which will drive player actions. Each round begins with the actions phase, and players will go back and forward committing a leader into a territory to take an action there. There are 2 main actions, commence or command. To commence, play 1 card from your hand and 1 or more leaders to the target territory whose combined skill value in the matching skill, combat, endurance, magic or strategy, either meets or exceeds the card's cost. Your opponent may challenge out of turn to attempt to cancel the effect of the card. They commit exactly 1 leader. Each player rolls dice equal to their leader's strengths in the matching skill, and the challenger cancels the card's effect on an equal or higher die roll. Cards can deliver game-breaking tactical benefits, so knowing the right time to challenge or to overcommit leaders in anticipation of a challenge is a key moment of tension in the game. The other option is command, and to command is to move. Place the leader in any territory, controlled or not, and then legally move any number of units into that territory. Many limitations and opportunities guide your movement tactics, such as different types of units with different movement ranges, onboard hazards like the impassable Marken Gorge, or the dangerous Hell Swamp which can damage your troops, flying or naval units which can pick up and carry other units long distances, and more. If both players occupy a territory, you'll battle until only 1 remains. Move the pieces to the battle board. You'll battle over several combat rounds, one after the other, until the battle is done. And if the leaders don't get involved, you'll roll black and blue dice based on the troops you have present to a maximum of 5 of each. Here I have 2 infantry, signified by 1 mini and the disc, each giving 1 black attack die. 1 cavalry gives 2 black dice, and an archer rolls a blue die. Roll all of the dice together. Shields block swords of matching colours, while axes are unblockable. Each player assigns their unblocked hits to the opponent's units, causing casualties when total damage meet the unit's limit. Keep playing rounds in this way until only one player remains. If you have a leader in the combat, and do note the defender has the chance to summon a leader at the very start, then your options increase. Before each roll, you have the chance to play one combat card from your hand as long as its skill value is within your leader's limitation. Then each combat round after hits are dealt, a leader gives you the option to retreat, either to an adjacent territory you control, or in some cases you could even retreat to the region's capital, placing yourself out here where you may later face siege. If both players have a leader, then yours may challenge the opponents to a duel at the start of each combat round, a chance to force a retreat against the odds purely off the back of your leader's swordsmanship. Dueling leaders may play relevant cards, then roll dice equal to their combat skill levels. Resolve blockable and unblockable hits the same way that you would for a normal combat roll, except that you don't give consideration to dice colour, and then deduct hits from the leader's endurance. You get one duel roll per combat round, but multiple duels across the combat. And if you reduce that leader's endurance to 0, it could end the battle, disable that leader for the next round, or for a Freeland leader, even leave it vulnerable for capture. All of this gives the players myriad tactical options to attack, defend, gain benefits parallel to simple area control, and ultimately achieve their goals on the battlefield. Players seek to control the territories of Magnamund, and although they begin with a very wide presence on the board, they have formal control over only a handful of territories. To actually gain control, you must move into a territory unopposed, or hold the territory after combat. For the Dark Lord player, the aim is to control regions and their strategic tokens, which also requires controlling the capital. And so, if the Freeland player has retreated into there, another combat is required to besiege them before the full step of achieving the strategic token is achieved. Through all steps of the action and later quest phases, Freeland may use their special item cards, up to 3 per action, either using and discarding if it's single use, or using up to once per round for a multi-use, after which it returns to the backpack. Once both players are out of leaders for a round, you'll move to the quest phase. Here, the Freeland Alliance player picks a quest, and then Lone Wolf, if not disabled during the round, must duel against its guardian. Completing the 5 quests inside 6 rounds is how Freeland wins the game early, and each quest completed provides an ongoing benefit. Now go to the refresh phase. Players retrieve all of their leaders from the board, and gain an additional leader after the 2nd and 4th rounds, increasing the number of actions per round. Draw new combat magic and strategy cards, adding them to any leftovers that you didn't spend. That means you'll always have a fresh supply of tactical options you can take. Now gain gold crowns for every region that you control, and spend them to add new troops to the board. You'll now proceed to the next round. The game ends immediately in victory if Lone Wolf completes all 5 quests, finishing with Vengeance of the Kai, or if the Dark Lord controls at least 5 of the 9 strategic tokens at the end of a round. If neither has been met by the end of round 6, then players count up victory points for key achievements unique to their faction, like reclaiming legendary items, controlling key locations, or capturing or converting opposing leaders, and most points wins. Lone Wolf Vengeance of the Kai leans heavily into the lore and narrative of the Lone Wolf gamebooks, as it lays out this two-player asymmetrical wargame. Players need to pick the right times and places to use their leaders, because with only a handful of actions per round, the choice to spend a second leader to get a stronger card, or even to challenge an opponent's card play, is a carefully weighted decision which can turn the game. Overall, Vengeance of the Kai offers a challenging but rewarding wargaming experience for lovers of the classic gamebook series.
Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, maybe you'd like to watch this next one. Have a great day. Bye!